Hey everyone, this is Brian from Thunder Sports and Fitness, and thank you for becoming a client. I think you know by now that this program is a little bit different from others out there. This is a group training program, and your health and your progress are among the most important things to me. I want to make sure that you stay safe. That's why you're going to be getting the coaching. It's why you're going to be getting the customized approach to the plan. And your goals are also very important to me as well. And that's what a lot of this presentation is about, is helping you set up some of those goals and also showing you how I'm going to track your progress. As you know by now, weight loss is not the way that I'm going to determine if you were successful with this plan or not. Not to say that if you lose weight, I'm going to be upset with you. I'm just saying that we're going to focus on some other things, mainly your health from the inside first, and determine what that looks like and watch how that progresses over time. I'm more concerned with how healthy you are physiologically rather than what your appearance is on the outside. So basically in the rest of this presentation, I'm going to explain all the different components of the group training program. We'll talk about goal setting, and I'll discuss in further detail how I'm going to assess your progress. And by the end of this presentation, hopefully give you a very clear big picture idea of what to expect in the months to come. Okay, so just a quick overview of the presentation. We're going to talk about why most people fail with exercise programs and with living healthier. As you know, the sad truth is most people start something and fail to finish it. It's just the sad truth about the fitness industry. And I think a big part of that is because we tend to focus on the wrong things. So I'm going to discuss a little bit more about what we're going to focus on in the presentation and discuss why you're going to succeed. And I'm going to help you do that by getting you to focus on the right things and keep you motivated and show you and help you understand that there's a real purpose why you should be exercising for the rest of your life, quite frankly. And I'm going to teach you how to change your mindset and start adopting some different thought patterns, and that'll help you with your long-term behaviors. And we're going to discuss how we're going to know if the program is working or not. So I'm going to go over the specific tests that we're going to use to track your progress and track your results, and discuss that in more detail. And then the main point of this presentation is to help you start thinking about what your goal is. So we're going to set up this SMART goal, and I'll go over all the components of that, and then help you map out a specific action plan that's going to include 3 major steps that you're going to take, say, in the next 12 weeks or so, and start chipping away at some healthier habits and get you on the right track towards exercising and living healthier long term. So there are a few reasons why people fail a lot of times. Like I said, most people who start their gym membership, and perhaps you've done this in the past, you started a gym membership and a month later you're completely disgusted and kind of over it, unmotivated, and you end up just giving up on everything that you've done. So the main reason why that happens is because people generally just don't have a plan. They don't set up a goal for themselves. There's no evaluation. If they do evaluate themselves, they basically just take their weight, maybe a couple measurements, and that's the only thing they use to track their progress. Their workouts, a lot of people start with a workout plan, just kind of a general one that they've made up themselves, or maybe you've gotten something from a trainer before. But the problem is you don't know how to adapt that plan or change it so that you can continue to move forward and see results. And then, quite frankly, most people don't really do anything about their nutrition. They don't change the way that they're eating. They continue to listen to the external rules about food, like don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat carbohydrates, don't eat past 8 o'clock at night. To be quite honest with you, and this is my philosophy and my belief, is that we really shouldn't listen to these external food rules. We should be in touch with our own feeling of satisfaction and our own feeling of satiety. We should know based on our physiology when we're full, and we shouldn't try to make ourselves eat when we're full. We shouldn't eat out of out of enjoyment more often than we eat for physiologic reasons. Food is essentially fuel. And if you want some more information on nutrition and diet, I'm going to provide you with some tools that you can use, but I do refer out to a dietitian, and I can give you more information on that if you would like. But most people just don't have a full plan of action in place that they can follow and that they can use to track their progress. Most people don't have guidance or a support system. So coaching, this part is taken care of for you. As a result of you joining a group training program, you're going to have the coaching and accountability and follow-up from myself and also from the people that you're going to be working out with in your group. A lot of times people need some accountability and some follow-up at home as well. It definitely works a lot better if you can get everybody in your household on board with the healthy changes that you're trying to make. I don't think it really works too often when one person in the household is trying to live healthier and get more active, and everybody else is continuing to do the same things that kind of got everybody into the unhealthy situation in the first place. So, having great guidance from a professional and then having a group of support behind you is definitely one of the top 3 most important things you should be thinking about instituting for yourself along this journey. And then lastly, most people just don't have patience. And this is not completely your fault. We just live in a society that has built us up to believe that we can change our lives overnight. We live in a society where you can get everything at your fingertips in the blink of an eye. And we have to realize that lifestyle and ritual changes, changing behavior, is a pursuit that could take several months, even years, to be quite honest with you. And I know nobody wants to hear that, and that's not the sexiest thing that you've ever heard, but it's the truth. And that's what I'm always going to deliver to you, and that's what I'm always going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you that you can achieve perfect health in a 6-week period or a 12-week period. It's going to be a pursuit that you're going to have to work at consistently, but over time, if you set it up in the right way, you will enjoy it, and it will become a normal part of your life, and that's essentially what we're after. And this is exactly why you're going to succeed, because you're going to have a plan. Again, you're going to set up your SMART goal and your 3 big rocks. You're going to do that at the end of this presentation and actually put down on paper some very specific things and a plan of action, actionable steps that you're going to complete and perform. You're also going to have a health and performance test regularly. So I'm going to go into more detail about each one of those components, but we're going to show you progress, and we're going to put some hard numbers on it so that you can see how your training is impacting your life and how it's impacting your health. And everyone gets a customized approach that matches their fitness level and matches their level of expertise. I'm never going to ask you to do anything that you can't handle. If anything doesn't feel right to you, it probably isn't, so you're always going to have access to me, and make sure that you ask me any questions that you have, and make sure that we're customizing that plan to progress you in a healthy way and keep you safe and avoid injury. You're going to have a coach and your support system. So you have me, obviously. You also are going to have the group of people that you're working out with. I guarantee that if I don't see you for 2 or 3 weeks and you haven't reached out to me, I have no idea where you are. You're going to get some follow-up, so I'll text or I'll call, and I'll make sure that a long period of time doesn't go by before I reach out to you. So this is definitely not your average gym membership. You're not in this all by yourself. You're not expected to come up with all the answers. You're going to be guided every step of the way. And my goal for you is to keep you active and to keep you progressing and to make this an enjoyable experience that you're going to want to take hold of and run with eventually someday. And then this is going to be a process. Like I said, there's no skipping steps. And evolution takes time. It's going to take time to lower blood pressure and change cholesterol levels. Again, weight loss can be a nice side effect. It's not something that I really focus on It's not something that I focus all my energy on, and I don't encourage clients to put too much energy into it either. But it could be a nice side effect of living healthy, eating better, and exercising regularly. But the main point is this is going to be a process. So now we're getting into the specifics about how we're going to evaluate your progress, and here's how we're going to know that your program is working. So we're going to have weekly checkups where I'm going to take a look at your heart rate, your blood pressure, and this thing called HRV, which stands for heart rate variability. And it basically is a short 2-minute test that tracks the very minuscule changes in your heart rhythm and gives you an overall indicator of how much stress you have on your system. So it's a very important indicator of health. It's been tied to heart disease risk, having very low variability in your heart rhythm. So I'm going to help you track that regularly, and it's going to identify how your stress level is based on all the physiologic stress going into your system. And it's also going to identify for us how ready you are to train and to work out. So I'm hoping that we can use that heart rate variability to a great degree and use it to keep people healthy and just give you another set of numbers that you can use to identify your progress. We'll do quarterly checkups where I will be doing a functional range assessment, FRA, where I'll basically do a hands-on assessment to determine flexibility and mobility. And then we'll do some performance tests as well to determine strength, power, and endurance. So once about every 3 months or so, we'll set up a time where you can come in and have a complete evaluation on basically all the components of health and fitness. And then we'll do one more thing. We'll do a biannual checkup, or this could even be just one time per year based on how often you go to your doctor. But we'll be taking a look at your blood work. So total cholesterol, HDL, high density lipoprotein cholesterol, which is the more healthy cholesterol carrier, and the LDL, low density lipoprotein, which is the lesser of the less healthy of the two. And then we have your triglycerides, your total fat level in the blood. So if you want to share that information with me, I think that is those things are a great indicator of health. And all this stuff together basically shows me and shows us how healthy you are on the inside. How healthy is your physiology? And that, again, like I said before, is far more important to me than what you look like on the outside. There can be somebody that is normal weight according to the BMI that could be terrible in every single one of these objectives, every single one of these markers. And there could be somebody technically that is obese on the BMI scale that could be completely healthy when we test their physiology. So these markers are going to be far more important to me than what you look like on the outside. So let's discuss the SMART goal a little bit before we take it any further. We want something that is specific. You know, exactly what do you want to accomplish? And I'm going to give you an example of this in a minute. We want something that is measurable. How will you know that it's been completed? Attainable, can that realistically and safely be done? Relevant, is this goal important to you? And identify why it's important to you. Does it have some special meaning? And then is it time-based? When do you want to achieve this by? So we're going to dive into this a little bit further, and I'll give you a specific example that I've put together based on somebody's blood work, where you see the up top on the left, we have the total cholesterol, 250. I've just kind of made these arbitrary numbers up just to give you an idea of what a goal may look like. So total cholesterol 250, which is high, HDL 39 low, LDL 160, which is high, triglycerides 200, which is high. So this is Jane Doe's baseline assessment when she first came into the gym. These are the numbers that she shared with me before any training took place. So that's essentially how we start the process, is taking a snapshot of exactly what your health and your fitness look like before we do anything. And then the 12-week goal, Jane Doe has determined that she's interested in dropping her total cholesterol down to 235.
which is borderline high. Again, this is a realistic 12-week goal. She's not going to reduce her cholesterol all the way down to a normal level probably in 12 weeks. It's been shown in research to take a little bit longer than that, but she's shooting for some realistic goals here. HDL to 45, which is near optimal. LDL to 150, which is borderline high, but definitely going in the right direction. And then triglycerides 170, which is borderline high, but again, going in the right direction. So is this specific? Yes. The goal is to improve blood lipid profile, and we're giving exact numbers here, or exact percentages, and how much better we want to do. So we're not just giving, we're not just saying we want to improve cholesterol. We're not just saying we want to improve our fitness. We're not saying we want to just lose weight. We're actually putting a very specific goal together and putting some numbers on it so that we can have something to shoot for, that we can measure. So is it measurable? Absolutely. We have the specific numbers, we have the specific categories, the low, the high, the optimal, the borderline. We're giving ourselves something that we can shoot for and something that we can quantify. Is it attainable? Absolutely. With diet and regular exercise, it's been shown in research that cholesterol can reduce as much as 10% in about 16 weeks. So with all these numbers, we're a little bit less than 10%, just to kind of estimate what we may be able to do. But like I said, changing all of these blood lipid profile markers is a process. Most people didn't obtain a high level of cholesterol overnight. It's going to take time, possibly 6 months to a year, to get all these levels back into a normal, acceptable range, especially if we're doing it without medication, especially if we're doing it just with diet and exercise. So is it relevant? Yes, this person, Jane Doe, needs to improve her health in order to live longer and reduce reliance on medication. So we're making it real, and we're making it very personal, and that's what you want to discuss in that relevant category. And then, is it time-based? Yes, we want to achieve this in 12 weeks. So we set a specific date that we want to achieve this by, and now we have a very thoroughly outlined goal that is going to guide us with all of our decision making. So this is the SMART Goals worksheet that you're going to be given, and you are basically going to fill it out the same way that I just showed you in that last example. So you'll have access to this page. You actually can get it from me, but you can also download it right below this presentation. If you're interested in doing that and getting started right now, you can easily take charge of that. So your next big objective or task after you complete this presentation is to set up your 3 big rocks. Now, you're going to have your goal, but the more important thing, or the next essential step, is you have to mark down exactly how you're going to do it. How are you going to turn that goal into a reality? It's not just enough to simply say you're going to do something, but then you have to plan ahead so that you can do it, because there's going to be barriers. How are you going to overcome those barriers? You're not always going to feel like exercising, or you're not always going to be prepared to exercise unless you take the steps to prepare yourself ahead of time. So there are a lot of obstacles that are going to come into your path in a 12-week period. So you've got to kind of map out a plan to minimize or reduce how those barriers are going to influence your progress. There are going to be lifestyle and ritual changes that you're going to have to make. So this is your opportunity to put down specifically which ones of those lifestyle or rituals or behaviors need to be tackled first. If your diet is terrible and you have a huge amount of saturated fat, and you eat a ton of animal products in your diet, and you want to improve your blood fat levels and your cholesterol levels, then that's definitely among the top things on the list that you're going to want to look at. If you're completely sedentary outside of your 2 hours a week at the gym, that's another thing you're definitely going to want to look at. You're going to have to get some aerobic exercise on your off days in order to reduce your cholesterol and improve your blood lipid profile. You're going to need self-discipline. Again, I'm only seeing you a couple hours a week, so the rest of the time is on you to hold yourself accountable for making the life choices that are going to help you achieve your goal. And that's not to say that you can't go to a birthday party and enjoy yourself and have some cake and ice cream. You just need to listen to your hunger mechanisms. Make sure that if you're not hungry, you're not continuing to kind of pile on the food, especially if it's empty calories. You've got to listen to your body, get in touch with what your appetite is telling you, and make sure that you're enjoying food in moderation and thinking of it first as fuel, and then secondly thinking of it as something that you can really enjoy and overindulge in. Rewards, I think something that's often overlooked. What are you going to reward yourself with after you achieve the goal in 12 weeks? Or what are some little things that you're going to do for yourself along the way? Could be as simple as getting yourself a new water bottle or a new workout outfit, or maybe halfway in, if you're doing great, go out for a special dinner that night with a friend or a loved one. But just build in a reward system. Clearly, like I explained before, we'll have ways to reward you at the gym by showing you your progress, but it's important for you to reward yourself and celebrate small victories as they come. Education. I'm going to do a great job of giving you the tools you need to educate yourself on how to get active outside of the gym and how to improve your sleep and get more water into your daily routine, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to give you plenty of education to help you make better lifestyle choices and understand what those look like. But you can also kind of browse on your own, try to read some articles. I'm sure a lot of the information you've already heard before. Most people, they actually have a great deal of education, but they just lack the execution part of it. So if you're like most people, that's probably where you get hung up. But it's always great to hear about the most up-to-date education information out there, and that's what I'm going to continually provide you with. And then accountability and support. Again, you'll have me for that, but it's important to try to get some support outside of the gym from family members, kids, loved ones, stuff like that. The more support you have on your side while you try to make these changes, I think the better off you're going to be. So here is the other task, or the other initiative that you're going to be completing, and this is the 3 big rocks. It's one thing to map out a goal, but it's yet another thing to actually put some action steps in place and determine exactly what you're going to work on in that 12-week period to achieve that goal. So as you can see at the top of the paper, you have goal number 1. So within that large goal of improving your cholesterol levels and your blood work in that 12-week period, again, what are the 3 major areas of your life that you have to focus on? And we discussed this in the previous slide. Is we talked about improving diet. We talked about reducing animal fat, reducing saturated fat, and eating maybe a little bit more plant-based diet in order to reduce the amount of fat that's entering the blood, especially saturated fat, which is kind of a big risk factor for heart disease, is overconsumption of saturated fat. And then we talked about goal 2 could possibly be how to get more activity outside of the gym. And then underneath you see the tasks that support the goal. What are some specific action steps you're going to do to eat healthier and eat less saturated fat? Again, what are some specific action steps you're going to do to ensure that you can get more activity throughout the course of the day? So this is another thing that you'll sit down and really map out, and these are going to be the 3 things that you put all of your effort and focus into in the next 12 weeks. These are the 3 big rocks that you want to move that are going to lead to success in whatever goal that you set up for yourself. So we are going to finish with a few initiatives, and we've already kind of gone over this. You definitely want to start by getting some clarity and thoroughly fill out your SMART goal worksheet. Now, I gave you an example, not to say that that has to be your goal. You can set up a goal for your performance. You can set up a goal for whatever. Perhaps you have a special event that you want to plan for. Maybe it's a family reunion or high school reunion, or maybe you have a 5K that you want to prepare for. I don't know what it is. You'll have to figure out exactly what that looks like and start putting some very specific, measurable, attainable, and realistic time-based objectives down for, and that's going to be one of your objectives. And then next, identify the 3 areas that are absolutely essential to achieving that planned success that you outlined in your SMART goal. And then you'll fill out that complete 3 rocks worksheet. Give yourself some real detailed guidelines and some real direction in terms of where you want to start tackling your lifestyle and behavior changes so that you can achieve that goal you've set out for yourself. Okay, so thanks for watching. You've got plenty of work to do. You've got that 3 big rocks worksheet available for download right underneath this presentation. I can also give it to you. But if you have any questions on this stuff and you want to review anything with me, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm more than happy to help you fill out these sheets. And again, it's great that you've signed up and you're looking forward to starting this group training program, and I'm looking forward as well to helping you live better and achieving whatever you're setting out to achieve.